Well, hey there, it's Catherine from Coverplate.com. This is the video hop for the winter release, and I'm using the Snowy Day bundle in this video. I'm going to be focusing on the Flakes cover plate, but here is a look at the other products: the Thank You Layered Sentiments, the Snowy Day patterned paper, the Peaceful Flakes stamp set, and dies. The cover plate cuts out a full card front size layer, and I'm just going to take my half sheet cardstock, run it through the Big Shot, and I'm going to do this 4 times because we're going to do 4 different techniques showing off this cover plate. With intricate dies, I like to pass it through my Big Shot a couple times. 2 or 3 times is good, and then all those little pieces just fall right out. So for the first technique piece, I'm using our largest acrylic block. I'm adding It's a Boy, All That Jazz, and Suede Shoes to the acrylic block. And then I'm going to take my water bottle and just spray it down, and then take my watercolor cardstock and just lay it on top. You can see I get this great watercolored, funky, fun background, and I want the whole thing covered, so I'm just going to keep dipping it in until it's all covered. I'm going to grab my heat tool and heat it and dry up some of those spots. And then if I feel like adding more depth to the watercolored background, I can dip it in again, kind of move and tilt my paper so the water droplets move around while heating it, and it creates a really interesting background. So I'm going to do a little double duty here. Before washing up my work surface, I'm going to take the little cutouts that fell out of the die, and I'm just going to dip them into the ink on my block and color them. I'm going to set them aside, and later I'm going to do an inlaid die cutting technique with them. So for the next background, I'm going to take my Something Borrowed ink pad and my Something Borrowed embossing glitter from Wow. I'm going to just take that ink pad and dab it all over the background. Catherine Pooler inks stay wet for a short bit, so you have if you're quick, you can add your Something Borrowed embossing glitter over the top of the Something Borrowed inked background, and it will stick. And then I'm going to heat it, and I have this gorgeous glittery Something Borrowed background. So I'm going to take my first Flakes background piece, and I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue all over the back and just add it onto a white card size layer of white cardstock. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is a really gorgeous tone on tone look, and you can just add a sentiment right on the top of that and be done. But I'm going to grab my quick stick. It has a little bit of a stickiness on the end, so it's easy to pick up little pieces. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the pieces that I watercolored a minute ago, and then I'm going to fit them into and just inlay them right back down into the design. Then I found it was a little bit easier just to put the glue inside or right on that card layer and then fit those pieces in. And then at the top we have kind of a half. So do you guys notice about this Flakes background that it's actually a snowflake that's just all strung together and creates this really cool geometric background? But at the top we kind of have half snow or half pieces there. So I'm just cutting the pieces that fell out. I didn't save the little pieces that go in there. They went into the garbage. So I'm just going to take those full pieces and cut them in half and just inlay them right at the top there. So for the Something Borrowed glitter embossed background, I'm just adding the Flakes cover plate straight to it. Just look at how sparkly and gorgeous that looks. So we'll set that aside, and then we're going to add more liquid glue to this other panel and add it straight to the watercolored background. And then the watercolor background, because we added so much water to it, is a little bit warped, so I'm just going to go ahead and add it right to a card base now. And another gorgeous look. The fourth one, I'm going to do some patterned paper behind it. So I'm just taking that Flake cutout and putting it over all of the patterns from the Snowy Day patterned paper pack to see which one I like the best. I ended up deciding on the polka dots. So I just cut the polka dot 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and just adhered my Flakes right to it, and we're all set. So now it's time to do sentiment treatment. So I have a couple different things I wanted to try. I have the nested labels die. I die cut that, and then I have the circle dies, and I die cut that. So I have them all ready to go. And then I'm going to ink Juniper Mist with that Joy, and then I'm going to do the snowflake in It's a boy, and I'm going to stamp it right over the top. I love the look of this snowflake with the layered sentiment over the top of it. And then I'm going to do the Merry and Bright right in the center of that nested label die. It fits perfectly. A couple little snowflakes in the corners for an accent, and that one is all set as well. So then I just have a square piece of cardstock. I'm going to stamp the greetings right on here, and then I'm going to cut them out, just trim them down and cut banner ends into the ends. And then I have 4 sentiment treatments all ready to go. So each of these is going to be popped up on dimensional adhesive so that it gives some dimension to the card. And then the next one, we'll do that circle die. Then we'll do the nested label die on the inlaid die cut piece. And then the last one goes onto the piece with the pattern paper. And then I'm going to pull out the Bourbon Street sequins. I'm going to pull out a few of the sparkly clear sequins and just add them in random places, just to give a little glitz and glam to this holiday card. And if you have already done your holiday cards, these all are fantastic for thank you cards. So just switch out the joy and the merry and bright, add a thank you sentiment, or if you have friends with winter birthdays. I have a winter birthday, and I always love getting a birthday card that has snowflakes on it, especially if they're pink. So now I'm going to have to go back and make pink snowflake cards in honor of my own birthday. So here is a look at all 4. Leave me a comment below and let me know which one is your favorite. The glittery background, the watercolored background, the inlaid die cut background, or the pattern paper background. And because this is a hop, there are prizes involved, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, go along on the hops and comment there as well to increase your chances of winning. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.